Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke at Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shipton Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to talk about residential. We're going to talk about the commercial market. We're going to talk about the economy a little bit. And then I'm going to try not to get too excited about the amount of misinformation or fake news, how wrong the internet can be. So anyway, inventory. I'll start with inventory. Single-family detached homes. Down in Scottsdale, we're down 7 of the last 8 weeks. Actually, in all of Maricopa County, we're down seven of the last 8 weeks in inventory. Scottsdale's 1,435 single-family detached homes. Remember, we look at that because that's a more stable number. There's a lot of condos and townhomes being built, so we want to look at the stable single-family detached homes. That's people moving in and out. It's just a more solid number. It doesn't have as much volatility there. Nationwide inventory, you hear about this, the increase in inventory now. Right now, across the United States, existing home sale inventory is about 1.5 million existing homes. To have a normal market, that should be about 2 million to 2.5 million single-family detached homes. And you know, we everything is taken in perspective. Inventory has been so low, so yeah, we're getting there, but we still don't have enough homes for buyers to choose from, and the amount of people buying out there, supply and demand. And it's my job to know the regional market, the local market, the nationwide market, and work with clients to see what we can get for you, what either on the sell side or the buy side. And this week, we spent a lot of time driving around. I think we were all over the valley, from Gilbert to Chandler to Anthem. Actually, I was pretty impressed with Anthem. Anthem's a nice city up there. I always thought it was far north, but it's 35 minutes from Phoenix Airport. So found some nice places in there. Fountain Hills, Paradise Valley, Cave Creek. We've kind of been all over this week. So with clients in town, they're coming. And buyers that are here now are serious buyers. Scottsdale, we're down to 4 months of supply. That number needs to be about 5 or 6 to be a normal market. But we're seeing a lot of cancellations and things come off the market. You take your house off the market for 45 days, it resets the days on market count to 0. Is that a good strategy? I don't know. Like I always say, I don't think so, because if I have a client and we communicate well and I know what you're looking for, it doesn't matter if that house is on the market or off the market. I'm going to call, and obviously, a lot of times out of respect, I will call the previous listing agent even and say, hey, can we get in? Can we make an offer on this property? And that stuff doesn't show up, on the regular Zillow.coms and things like that. So actually, we closed down a property in Iowa the other Wednesday, maybe. So that's, I always talk about Berkshire and our network, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services on the residential side. And I have clients all over the country and connections all over. So we had a client who needed to sell a house in Iowa. So we did a little homework, called a friend of a friend. Like I said, if I can't help you, I know who to call. So we closed on that this week, and that's always fun. We did one in North Carolina not long ago, and even a couple in Florida. So it's always fun when you do the out-of-state properties. But like I said, it's my job to know the markets all over, especially your local market, and where my clients want to go to. I saw a small jump in accepted contracts the past couple of weeks, especially over the July 4th holiday. And holidays can be funny. Sometimes there's buyers here, sometimes they're just shopping. And that's, a lot of when we get clients coming from out of state, we do a pretty good interview, know what they're looking for, but you kind of get an idea of if they're coming from Chicago, they're looking for this type of property. New York, they're looking for this type of property, Washington State or Seattle. And you kind of get that feeling. So then I can't steer them in the right way, but it's my job to show them communities. And purchasing a home you're going to spend a lot of money on is a process. So these initial meetings, they're just really getting to know, what do you like? What do you like? And the more you communicate, you and I both communicate, the more I can, find something out there for you. And that's where we kind of do things a little different. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here to provide a service. So yeah, we did see a small jump. Paradise Valley ignores everything. They are rocking. Prices are up in Paradise Valley, and across the valley, we're in a buyer's market. Everybody's talking about this buyer's market. Cave Creek, Scottsdale, they kind of tilted up. We're heading, you go from a seller's market down to a buyer's market and then back up. Buyer's markets are usually short-lived. And so you kind of want to buy on that bottom just when it starts to turn up. And the more central cities, the Scottsdale, the Phoenix, when you see those start to pick up and start turning again, that's when you want to jump to get your best deal. But again, you can't time the market. Real estate's a long-term investment. You're going to be there for years. But the more established cities, they're doing well. They're starting to turn up again. Prices are relatively flat. 1 to 3 million in Scottsdale is up 8% year over year. And over 3 million is up 4%. So there's some big numbers. The luxury properties don't really care about interest rates. So as much, they don't like the heat, but they know when the good time to buy is. And I'm surprised a lot of our educated clients listen to some of the headlines out there, but we're going to talk about that later. I don't want to get stuck on that. But number in sales of June, it's been light. I'm not going to lie to you. It's which I always hate, because when am I ever going to lie to you? But it's been a little quiet in June, but it's been busier than last year. So it's been funny. Ever since the pandemic, 2021, 2023, we have had anything but a normal market. So it's all noise. It's just get you if you want to buy. If you want to sell. That's what I always say. And now the time, if you're looking to buy, I'm seeing some big negotiations, especially on the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million properties that are thinking about canceling for the summer, thinking about going off the market. We're getting a little late. We're already into July. They can take it out for 45 days and reset that day count. But, they want to be on the market. They're getting antsy. So if we can prove your number and what a property is worth to you, I have no problem picking up the phone and having a conversation. If you're at $4 million, but if the seller's at $4 million and the buyer's at $3 million, let's see where we need to be. I mean, we have no idea what the seller's thinking. And that brings me to another thing. When you see price, well, my neighbor sold his home for $2 million. Well, you don't know what that included. Did he have to paint the whole inside of the house? We were in one in Anthem the other day. The house included the whole mariachi band artwork. It probably costs a lot of money. Not everybody wants an iron art of a mariachi band in their backyard, but that's going to convey and transfer with the house. That's probably $20,000, $30,000 worth of yard iron artwork. But so you never know. Price is just price, and you never really know what goes on behind the scenes there. So my job's to put money in client's pocket or keep money in client's pocket. My job is to put money in my client's pocket or to keep money in my client's pocket. And, I'm seeing some big numbers. Things that we're asking $2 million are closing for $1.4 million. So they're out there. And like I say, every deal's different. So commercial, we had a state land trust meeting yesterday. There's a lot going on the... if you want to purchase, everybody thinks Arizona has a lot of land to build, but it does have a lot of land to build if you have the funds to purchase 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 acres and put an application in with the state. Well, along the west side of Scottsdale Roads, a developer out of Minnesota just purchased 200 acres for, what'd they pay? They paid a lot, $136 million, I think. And then just north of that, there's another 70 acres. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but along Scottsdale Road, there's that state desert land. That's going to be the new center of Scottsdale. I promise you. Along Pima Road, they just did all that road work along Pima Road and along Scottsdale Road now. That's all drainage because that state land is flood land. Things you don't see, you'll never hear it on the news. That state land is flood property. I guarantee they put the drainage in on Pima Road to take that out of the flood zone. This developer comes in, big money. That's going to be the center of Scottsdale and 101 North, if you're familiar with the area. But you'll see a lot of people online saying, this is happening. Well, these things take years to happen. These are years in projects. So you really got to be ahead of the game. And no, especially I always tell my commercial investors, let's find out what's going on. Where's the big money going? It's Carolyn. Carolyn's got a lot of money going into that area too. So, and that's where you want to invest your money because they're going to pay for the infrastructure. They're going to get tax breaks and things like that, but they're going to pay for the infrastructure, and it brings up the value of all the properties in the area. And that happens on the residential side too, up and down. So, commercial, it's been interesting. Arizona Commerce Authority announced they had their fiscal season closed or fiscal year closed on June 30th. They announced that they put $31 billion of partnerships into the Phoenix metro area. And so there's money coming, there's companies coming. Big thing in commercial real estate is the big, beautiful bill. Whether you like it or you don't like it, we are going to have 100% bonus depreciation on your commercial property. You can check with your accountant. I'm not an accountant, but this is huge. I don't think people understand how big that is to take a tax write-off of 100% on the building you purchased for your business. That's huge. But again, ask your accountant. They'll know more about that. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney, but I know how it works. So, commercial, Peoria put in an application to buy 800 acres of state land for $46 million, and they're going to develop it themselves. They say, why should we let the developers get all the money? They're going to put $1 billion in their pocket. You can bid against them, but I think that might be tough to get your project approved if you outbid the city on that project. So, like I say, own the real estate. That bonus depreciation, I can't stress that enough. Commercial meeting with Berkshire yesterday. We talked about letters of intent, how it differs from residential real estate. We negotiate most of the negotiations happen before we write up an offer. And I always say that makes me better on the real estate side or the residential side, especially the luxury residential side. You pick up the phone, you figure it out. What do we need to do to make this deal happen? That's how the commercial business works. Residential, not so much. I think agents are just afraid to pick up the phone, but there's a few of us that do commercial and residential. And that makes us better. Just we know where we can pick and choose. Negotiations are just give and take. So that's fun. It was interesting. It was a good meeting. Anyway, the economy. Please, please, please spread the word. Some of you know, most of you know, I hope, the Fed does not set mortgage rates. There is a ton of bad information out there, and not even getting political at all. Even the head of the FHA is talking about firing Jerome Powell. Well, the Fed's job since 1913 is to set maximum employment and have financial stability in the United States. Where are we right now with NASDAQ record high? We've got pretty much financial stability and maximum employment, 4% unemployment. So they're doing a good job. So, it gets political. The Fed funds rate does not really affect your mortgage. The Federal Reserve does not set your mortgage. In fact, back in September, they had a couple cuts of 100 basis points. Well, mortgage rates went up almost 100 basis points in that time. So, hey, Tom. And they don't move in. The mortgage rates follow the 10-year Treasury plus whatever spread that the mortgage brokers feel is necessary to accept the risk of your mortgage. That's pretty simple terms. So, and even saying that the Fed cuts rates is pretty simple. They don't really cut a rate. They set a target rate and they buy and sell U.S. Treasuries to get to that target rate for overnight lending. And everything else kind of builds upon that. But Rebecca Patterson, she worked at Bridgewater Associates. She's a currency economist. We worked there together. I don't know her. She definitely doesn't know me because she's super smart. But she was on CNBC talking about, we were in a lot of meetings together, but she was talking about the falling U.S. dollar. Falling U.S. dollar insinuates higher inflation down the road. Now, if you're a global hedge fund or, sovereign, a small country or something, you're having your board meetings to figure out your investment plan. You're executing that plan. That all takes time. That doesn't happen overnight. So have we really seen where these rates are going to go? I don't think so. She didn't think so. It takes months and months and months to happen. So remember, a 10-year note is the accepted return on investment for 10 years for an investor. 30-year mortgage, that's a 30-year investment. So you lock in that rate for 30 years. Talked to somebody yesterday talking about when a rate's going to get lower again. Average mortgage rate, 30-year fixed mortgage rate since 1971 is 7.71%. Right now we're about 6.75%. So I did some calculations. Average price of a home, $500,000. 30-year fixed right now, 6.75, 20% down. your payment, I don't remember the number, but anyway, it's going to save you $250 a month if mortgage rates drop 100 basis points. So if they go from 6.75 to 5.75, it's only going to save you $250 a month on your $500,000 mortgage, $500,000 residence for your mortgage. Is that going to break you? Then you shouldn't be buying a house. So, like I say, every deal's different. Nobody knows where rates are going. And just have a discussion. Let's put the numbers on paper. Whether you're a small business owner looking to own the real estate or you're looking to buy or sell a property, let's meet, have a discussion. Like I said, I'm here to provide a service. We've been doing this a long time, and I got a lot of experience. There's always a solution to a problem. Not even a problem, just where do you want to go and how can I help get you there? When you're buying or selling in any asset, not just real estate, you're building your team. And I would like to be the quarterback of that team, we work with a lot of mortgage people. Your title company is super important, especially now with a lot of fraud. I heard of one yesterday that they caught it again. The title company caught it, but it was a close one. So, excuse me. Anyway, we're going a little bit long here, and just want to mention, somebody came out yesterday. There's a lot of social media things saying that foreclosures are coming around now. He said he talked to a mortgage broker and foreclosures were up 2%. I swear he made it up. Everybody who kind of knows says, no, they're not. Foreclosures are low. And even if we had 5 foreclosures last month and now we have 10 this month, that's still nothing, but it's up 100%. So I think people online just say stuff to get clicks. And then a lot of people are using ChatGPT now. I use, Grok, just for here and there. And I find a lot of mistakes on it. And if people are going to go out and post, they're going to make things up that are absolutely incorrect and post it just for clicks. These ChatGPT and Grok and these other AI, whatever they are, they're going to pick up bad information and they're going to tell you bad information. So that's got to get under control. I mean, maybe this is the end of the internet. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the beginning. I don't know. But anyway, every deal's different. We're here to help you buy or sell whatever asset, residential, commercial, land, and get you where you want to be. Facilitate, educate, and advise, I guess. So anyway, have a great day. Be smart, be safe, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We got some running around again today. If we see anything neat, we'll go live again. But that's why we do these live. They're not perfect. Life's not perfect, but hopefully you get to know me and you like me. If you don't, that's fine. You still want to call me and I can point you in another direction. So, love to work with you. Have a great day. Be smart, be safe. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.